Research says resilience and grit determine quality of life in a crisis. But what is resilience? Who are the ordinary people doing extraordinary things while staying healthy and safe during COVID? How do they persevere with passion in the middle of a public health crisis? Join us as they share their stories and show us everything.
Sunday night, 7 o'clock, you know what that means? It's another episode of Show Us Everything, and tonight's episode is called Animal Therapy During COVID-19. My name is Jimmy G.
And I'm Kyle Ward. You know that two major publications, the New York Times and Washington Post, recently wrote that number of pet adoptions and purchases have absolutely soared, skyrocketed during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, Kyle. And I was doing some research, and I wanted to make sure that I said this correctly. Research published by the American Psychological Association says pets contribute significantly towards managing uncertainty and social isolation during COVID-19 and towards reducing the evidence of post-traumatic stress disorder. Right. So this is a great episode.
Right. In our own community, the Allaire Community Farm, located in Wall Township, deals with those issues. They deal with people with post-traumatic stress. They deal with children with special needs, families dealing with illness, and they use the power of their farm and their animals, rescued animals, in fact, to alleviate that pain. Show Us Everything. Check it out. Guys, I'm with the lovely Joanne at the farm. Thank you so much for having us. It's great to be here.
Welcome, welcome.
This is such an excellent organization and a topic that's near and dear to my heart. I love animals. I love helping people. So why don't you give us a little lowdown on what you guys do here and how you got started?
Well, then you're at the right place, Kyle. Yeah. We are an animal rescue. We're a 501c3 New Jersey nonprofit. We rescue animals, and then we take those rescued animals and we work with special needs individuals, whether it's children or aged out, 21 and older, when they have to leave the school systems. We also work with veterans with PTSD. We work with young people that are suffering with mental health issues, anxiety, depression, self-harming, suicide, suicidal thoughts, which with COVID is really becoming a problem. And then the last thing we do is on Sunday mornings, we partner with Whole Foods, they're a mile down the road, and we do food banks for local families battling cancer.
So what are your favorite day-to-day activities here at the farm, and what are people most drawn to?
Oh, I think the healing nature of the animals. My favorite thing to do is to go hang out in our indoor petting zoo with my Nigerian dwarf goats, who are just adorable. There's something about petting an animal that just relieves the stress in your body. And there's all kinds of studies to back this up. So that's what I like to do. If I'm having a bad day, my job as the executive director is to, keep the farm financially healthy and to fundraise and to market the farm and to share our mission with the community at large. But when I need to get out of my office, that's what I do. I come down here and I hang out with my goats.
That's awesome. I have a dog, Ziggy. He's a tiny little guy. And no, he's just provided so much love and joy to our family. And every time there's a tough time or someone's having a bad day, right? Like he knows, we pat him and he's there for us.
We could learn a ton from animals. They have an instinct that we don't. We're just so busy and our minds are always going. We have a dog, Lucky, who's a rescue, no special training. He will notify me when there's an autistic child on the property, and the way I know is Lucky will go and he will sit by that child and let that child pet him.
How have you had to adjust, and how have you had to rise to the occasion to meet these unprecedented times?
Yeah, when it hit, we were shell-shocked like everyone else. We couldn't believe, I remember saying to my husband, what are we going to do? Yeah. Because every program was canceled instantaneously. And so that night, my husband said, well, either God's going to show up and give us a vision or he's not. And the next morning he woke up and he said, I think we're going to convert the barn into a organic produce market, and we're going to feed the community. And we did contactless produce pickup for, I would say, 4 to 5 months until people started to feel comfortable going back into the stores, and then we pivoted back to what we typically do with, just having the public come and enjoy the animals, having special needs groups come on board. So that really saved us, was that organic market, because we were able to stay open as an essential business.
Absolutely. No, adapting is impressive. And so how about you just because I'm super curious, tell me a little bit about the goat yoga, because that seems to be one of the big hits, one of the really popular
activities.
activities.
It is a big hit. People love it. Yeah. What we use is our baby goats, and we have yoga instructors that come, and they get on their mats and they get into position, and then we bring the goats in, and that's when all the selfies start, the goats are climbing on their backs and things like that, and it's just a great time and for people to relax, and yoga is a great form of exercise, and we're all about healing at the farm. So we think it's a real nice partnership. So we work with a lot of different yoga instructors.
What would you like to tell the community, or how can they get involved or support? What can they do?
I think now more than ever, we just want to get the word out that we're here. Our mission of our tagline is "We nurture through nature."
Yes.
And so during COVID, from March on, our reach has expanded to this tri-state area. We've had people from all over New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Delaware come here, because there's not a lot of farms right now that offer what we do, and what. You come here now, it's not just a crowded place where you pick a pumpkin and get out. We really try to, all of our volunteers try to engage the public,
community,
ask them, how you doing? How you holding up through this? That's part of our training with our volunteers, is to really make people feel welcome and feel like, this is not a quick visit the animals, leave. We want you to come and relax and spend some time here and really, talk with our volunteers, get to know the stories of our animals, get to hear about our mission. We have over 200 volunteers, people that live locally. That's what they do. They'll come here and they'll say, I love it, I don't want to leave, how can I volunteer?
That's awesome.
And so, that's what we want the public to know. Of course, we always need funds. We're putting up buildings, and, this was just an abandoned, not abandoned, but just a passive farm 2 years ago. We bought it 2 years ago in June, and so we needed to put entire infrastructure in, and all the buildings are new, and the electric and the plumbing and the underground utilities. It's expensive.
Sure.
So we always need money. So that's a way the community can help. But most importantly, I want the community to come here and heal. Like so many people during COVID said, this is the first place we've been because we feel safe. It's 25 and a half acres. They can breathe. They can social distance without a mask on.
Sure.
So that's what I want people to know. If you're struggling, give us a ring. Go on our website. Let us know. www.alaircommunityfarm.org. We partner with a lot of mental health agencies in Monmouth County, over 44 of them, and so they want to know if you're struggling, if you're having trouble, let us know, and we'll help to get them hooked up, and we could do some animal therapy, some therapeutic riding and driving that goes on here, or just petting the animals, and I guarantee you're going to feel better when you leave.
What is involved in your line of work of rescuing animals? What does it take to keep them healthy, happy? Like, what do you need to, because there's a whole lot more that goes into it than people would just think coming on the farm, right?
That's exactly right. That's a great question. I would say 95% of our animals are rescued here, and they come from either the SPCA or animal control, or people who have fallen on hard times and can't care for them anymore, and just constantly we're bombarded with it. And the problem with running an animal rescue is it's extremely expensive, and if you're not cautious and smart about it, you can then over-rescue and then not be able to care for the animals that you've taken in because you feel so bad that they needed to be rescued.
Sure.
But our vet, Dr. Kathy Ball, does almost all of our work pro bono, but we pay for the medications and the shots, and it's expensive. Every animal has to be wormed and given yearly and bi-yearly shots. Their feed. A lot of our animals, because they were neglected, are on special diets, special supplements. need all kinds of special surgeries because of damage to their neglected bodies. So there's a lot that goes into it, and that's why we ask for a small donation when people come in of $5 for adults, $3 for kids, and because that's what that money is going directly into feeding back into our animals. So we work really hard to make sure that once they get here, they may not have started out well their life, but they're going to end it well. And so our animals are very well cared for, very well fed, and are given all the supplements and nutrients that they need to get back and be healthy.
That's fantastic. Any money that you can give to this organization is well worth it. What a great cause. Helping the animals, helping people. I mean, it's always great to have services like these, but in these times specifically, right? I mean, I'm sure the need skyrocketed, right? And you're there to kind of meet that need.
We really are. We have had our busiest year ever since COVID started. We've increased our hours. We've increased the amount of volunteers that are here because there's such a need for it. I'd like to speak to the special needs community. All of their programs just ended, whereas schools are going back part-time and have remotely, there's still a halt on the special needs day programs. That's a problem for these families with special needs young adults because what happens is they don't just stay the same, they regress. So these young people, because they're so schedule driven and they need to be regimented, because of COVID, that's not happening. And we're seeing a lot of regression with the special needs population. It breaks our heart. So we have a lot of our volunteers that come now are families that have a special needs young adult or a child. Because they need to get them out of the house. They need to get them onto some kind of a schedule. So, and I hope, once the vaccinations kick in and all, and they'll open those schools back up because it's important that these young people have schedules and places to go.
They need stimuli. They need stuff to do. They need their friends, or they need something more involved in a video game, right? Which is why it's great being here.
Seeing them back here on the property with their day programs, because we have all kinds of day programs for the special needs population. And the newest one we started this year is called the HOPE program. And I'm really excited about this. It's called HOPE because it stands for Harvesting Occupational and Personal Excellence. And our goal through the HOPE program is to take an aged out special needs young adult, 21 and older, and put together a personal plan for them as far as employment. And through we call them interns when they come here, through our teachers and life coaches, get them to the point where they can become hireable. And so isn't that what everybody wants? Everybody wants to be able to contribute, to get a paycheck, to feel like they have a purpose to get up in the morning. So the HOPE program is working towards that end. But right now it's on hold because of all the day programs being closed. So we're looking forward to getting that back up and running.
An amazing, an absolute necessity, the Allaire Community Farm. Joanne, thanks for your time. You're a wonderful person.
My pleasure. Thank you for everything. Coming.
Absolutely. Kyle Ward, show us everything. Have a great one.
This is Animal Therapy during COVID-19. Show us everything. Our next interview, Kyle, I was with Ross LaCitra and Barbara Lovell of the Monmouth County SPCA. There's so many cute animals there. We're going to learn what they're doing during this pandemic. Little Ralphie the puppy was awesome. Norman, a black kitten. Monmouth County SPCA, so much to learn, so many great things that they're doing. We're going to find it out right now. This is Show Us Everything. Animal Therapy during COVID-19. Monmouth County SPCA. We're here with the doc, Samantha Mammon. Samantha, thank you so much for taking the time here. I know you're very busy.
Absolutely, happy to help.
We have Ralphie from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Pets, how many pets are you dealing with on a daily basis?
So honestly, since this pandemic started, if anything, business has gotten, there's been more volume. And I think that everybody working from home and being home, they're spending more time with their pets, so they're noticing things and they really want to get it addressed. And that's the one thing that has kind of good that's come from this pandemic is that we haven't noticed a decrease in the level of our care, the level of care that clients want to do for their pets, and they're still dedicated.
Now, Ralphie here, talk about him. I mean, do you know any details about Ralphie? I know he's from South Carolina, but what else?
Yeah, so Ralphie came up from one of our partners called Project Safe Pet, where we do some transport, help out down south with the overpopulation, the overcrowding. He was just neutered today, which is why he's a little whiny and a little nervous because he's still wearing off his anesthesia, and he should be ready to go home within the next couple of days.
Okay, you're a doctor, obviously. Samantha, what are the differences and similarities of COVID-19 with pets and animals compared to people?
Absolutely. So COVID-19 is something that's kind of brand new of its kind, and it comes from coronaviruses, and coronaviruses themselves are very common in both people and pets. But to present like this is a whole different realm. Luckily, in veterinary medicine, we're not seeing too much crossover when people are affected by it and giving it to their pets. There is a very rare chance of that happening, but luckily, through this pandemic, I have not seen one case of it personally. I have a few colleagues who have seen it in other parts of the country, but not myself personally, which is excellent. And the animals that are getting it, they're not giving it back to other people, and they're recovering just fine, which is great.
That's awesome. What are the plans moving forward for Monmouth County SPCA?
So honestly, through this pandemic, we're here to ride it out for as long as need be. Our staff is doing an excellent job. We are still, unfortunately, doing curbside service, which is a great thing that we can offer to our clients by still keeping everybody safe. But of course, I know clients are eager to get back into the room with their pets. They want to be part of it. They want to be present. So a lot of that telecommunication is difficult. But we are here to ride through it, both on the clinic side, addressing our client-owned pets. We're here to help anybody who needs help with surrendering their pets due to, loss of finances or illness or anything like that. We're always here for our community.
Well, Doctor, we appreciate everything that you're doing here, and good luck in the future with this whole pandemic. But at the end of the day, you have a kind heart, and we greatly appreciate you helping out the animals.
Thank you. We'll get through it together.
That's right. It's great to be interviewing Ross Lasitra of the Monmouth County SPCA, and we have a cute little fella, Norman. Ross, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, Jim.
A brief history, Monmouth County SPCA, you're the executive director. A brief history for our viewers.
Sure. The Monmouth County SPCA has been servicing the community of Monmouth County and our animal welfare for the past 75 years. It's what we do.
And I want to jump right into it because this past year with the pandemic, COVID-19, you've experienced a lot of unique situations throughout Monmouth County SPCA. And one of them that I think jumps out at me when I was doing research was the people who unfortunately have had COVID-19, who have passed away from COVID-19, have dropped off their pets with no hope here at Monmouth County SPCA for their lives. What's that like being an executive director and knowing those stories and knowing those people are dropping off their animals here?
So, like I said earlier, the Monmouth County SPCA, our primary function is for animal welfare within the community. But, people often think that we're just here for the animals, but we're here also for the people. And, that's part of our mission. So, when we were first faced, like the rest of the nation, with the global pandemic, which none of us have ever experienced before, we were expecting the worst case scenarios. We didn't know what to expect. Any given time, the shelter has over 400 animals under our care.
Wow.
So, in preparation for the unknown, and God forbid our staff just started to get sick and weren't able to come to work, we made a concerted effort to reduce the population in the shelter, not only for the obvious reasons that if we had a very limited staff to be able to care for them, but also to make room for if we had an onslaught of people in their personal lives who weren't able to take care of their pets, that we had room for them here at the shelter.
Well, that's incredible, and you're using staff, the word staff, a lot. How is your staff adapting and making things work during this time?
Well, our staff has been incredible, and one of the things that we had to do for COVID, we had to limit access into the building, and that includes our volunteers. We have nearly 100 employees that work here,
Wow.
but we have over 400 plus volunteers that also participate every day well, not every day, but a lot of them every day at the SPCA here. So, without the help from our wonderful volunteers, our staff had to do double duty in a lot of different areas. So, they've been tremendous, picking up other avenues of responsibilities within the shelter out of their norm. But, we're all in it together and just making sure that we're ready for whatever we need to face.
That's great. One topic of discussion as well, wellness visits have been hugely spiked throughout the pandemic within animals here at Monmouth County SPCA. Why?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a silver lining, if there is one, to any type of pandemic. At the end of the day, our adoptions were also very good because people were home and wanted to adopt animals. Unfortunately, we had to do adoptions by appointment only. But as far as the clinic goes, people were home. And they were adopting animals at record rates, and it was also a great time for people to catch up, if you would, on their animals' needs and care. And people just loved coming out, and they were, we set up our veterinary center just like every other medical agency where we have curbside service, and people would come up and we would go out and get their animal, bring it in, and do what had to be done, and bring it out to them. So it was a nice little silver lining.
Wildlife animals as well, you guys are dealing with and helping out.
Yeah, so we had an interesting statistic during 2020. We saw a real uptick in wildlife come into the shelter.
Wow.
And of course, we really can't relate that to COVID, but I can't help but think maybe something has to do with that. A lot of people were staying inside their house. The county parks and local parks were closed, which meant wildlife had a free rein to do what they wanted to do. And of course, we're in the animal rescue business. We're the largest animal control division in Monmouth County, and we're always out there 24 hours a day saving animals, and wildlife is certainly part of that. So we did see a big uptick in wildlife rescue and rehabilitation, and maybe it had something to do with COVID.
How about the people throughout Monmouth County supporting you guys, trying their best to possibly donate or be a part of something special here?
Well, we're very, very fortunate. We have a very loyal following out by the public, and of course that's an testament to our staff and all the great stuff that we do here. So, our development team and our head of fundraising, our associate executive director Barbara Lovell, who's also a head of, she's a director of development. They were very crafty, and they came up with a lot of great ways to reach out to the public for donations. And the public, as always, comes in and they get right on board, and they're willing to always do what they need to do to help our animals.
Horrible year, tough year for many. What's one positive thing for yourself and for the Monmouth County SPCA throughout 2020 and heading into 2021? Give us some positives.
Well, the positives, there were a few of them. The uptick in adoptions, which was great. The ability to be able to be there for the community when they really, really needed us. We did have people who passed away, and we were able to find beautiful, loving homes for their animals. We had one incident out in Manalapan where their dog was lost for a good amount of time, and we were able to find who the owners were, but they were so sick with COVID. We made a special delivery to them, while we just brought the dog to their house and left it in the middle of the yard while we watched, in a crate, of course, and we watched the people come out of the house and retrieve their dog, and we waved to them from the truck. So, it's those little everyday stories that really gives the staff the inspiration to carry on what we do here every day.
It's awesome, Ross. Thank you for taking the time. Greatly appreciate everything that you do here at Monmouth County SPCA, and wish you nothing but success in 2021.
Thank you. Another little point I wanted to bring over too is, our uptick in kittens. We've had a huge uptick in kittens. We had to suspend our trap, neuter, and release program, and so we saw, several hundred more kittens coming to the shelter.
Wow.
But they mean a lot of kittens for a lot of homes, so we're looking good for that.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Jimmy G at the Monmouth County SPCA with Barbara Lovell. You have a special guest, Shrek.
We do. Shrek is he's a senior, and unfortunately, as we all know, the coronavirus really affects our senior citizens more so than the regular public. And a lot of the animals that we've seen come in are from elderly owners.
Okay.
Both of Shrek's owners were hospitalized with COVID. Wow. His mom is still in the hospital. His dad is on oxygen, and they've determined that it would be too difficult to take care of him. He's a senior himself, so he needs a little bit of special attention. I think he's probably got one tooth left. We had to do some extractions, but he is a sweet, sweet boy.
What do you see the plan here in 2021 being for Monmouth County SPCA moving forward?
I think it's going to be much the same. We as an essential operation, really did not shut down, but put plans into place immediately with curbside service and adoption, appointment-only adoptions and limitations with the public, although we remained open and serving the public as evidenced by the over 5,000 animals that came into the SPCA this year. So we're going to continue doing what we're doing.
Do you see the community coming together and figuring out how things have changed, right? Are they adapting well with your procedures, or are they kind of confused and trying to make the most of it moving forward as well?
Well, everybody does love to come into the SPCA in person to see all of our animals, but yes, they have been very cooperative, knowing that we're trying to keep our staff safe and the public safe, so appointment only has actually worked out really, really well for us. Our cat adoptions are through the roof, which is great because we saw a huge influx of kittens being born outside over the summer. The public has really rallied behind us. We've always had great supporters, but during the shutdown, we've had breakfasts delivered, and the donation bin is outside, so it's contactless, and we probably have to empty it 6 or 7 times a day.
What are some positives throughout this last year that, moving forward, you can look back on and say, you know what, at the end of the day, we can smile about some things?
Well, speaking from my Director of Development role, we had a wonderful donor step up almost immediately, knowing that our in-person events were being canceled, and they offered a challenge grant to the public.
Oh, wow,
and we were able to, in half the time allowed, meet that challenge grant and raise the money that we desperately needed to take care of all of these animals coming in. The nice thing about that is there was a tremendous amount of new donors who found out about what we were doing, and hopefully we'll keep them interested in our mission and helping them support us.
Where can people find more information about Monmouth County SPCA? Simple question, but for the viewers, where can they dig a little deeper?
But you can go to our website, monmouthcountyspca.org, and see all of our great animals who are ready to be adopted, figure out how to support us, because of course, again, our operations continue.
Barbara, thank you so much. I saw a cat in there. His name was DJ Paulie D. So I'm going to maybe try to adopt him. But Barbara, thank you so much for taking the time. Good luck in the future, and we appreciate everything that you've done.
Thank you so much.
Such an awesome episode. Animal therapy during COVID-19. A special thank you to the Monmouth County SPCA for having me out there. I was able to see so many cute animals. You see Ralphie in the last, scene. It was awesome. It was good. Russell Citra, Barbara Lovell, thank you so much for having us out there, and good luck in 2021. Kyle, what was your favorite part about, animal therapy during COVID-19, this awesome episode?
Well, Joanne took us around on the golf cart and showed us all the cute animals, and we met Al the alpaca, Lily the aforementioned pig, and seeing her passion and everyone's positive attitude, and seeing legitimately the mood instantly lift when the animals come over, and seeing everyone smile when they're petting the animals, I mean, that in itself is worth its weight in gold to me.
It really is awesome. Animal therapy during COVID-19, fun episode. Thank you for tuning in. A special episode next Sunday night as we wrap up this series. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see what happens next. Show us everything. Have a great night.
Maybe go to the city where the lights are so bright.